You know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and this morning, on behalf of the building committee, I'm excited to share with you some of the images of our proposed remodel. And for a while now, all of us have kind of been looking at architectural drawings and blueprints, but many of us need something a little bit beyond blueprints to get an understanding of how a space can be used, and to spark our imagination for what ministry could be done there. And this morning, I get to share these visuals with you, and hopefully it'll inspire you as we begin our building project. Now, I just want to say, before we begin, these visuals are PPO. That's just building committee talk for presentation purposes only, okay? So it means that it's not going to reflect the complete and final design. The finishes that you'll see, the wallpaper, the backsplashes, countertops, furniture, and furniture placement, all of those are really just placeholders right now, and they don't reflect our final design, but these images will give you that sense of space. I hope it'll spark your imagination for what ministry could be done there, and also whet your appetite for what is to come. Let's begin first by talking about the hospitality desk and coffee bar. We knew that we needed to create a space of connection and community, and so we've designed a hospitality desk that will act as an information hub for our church, as well as a coffee reception area to foster community. So let me show you a picture, okay? This is not what we have designed. This is what we have right now. It's out in this intersection right here, looking down this hallway. Here's what we have now, but here's our vision for what could be. So you have on the right an information desk there. Going down the hallway a little further, we come to the coffee reception area. Plenty of coffee for people there, as well as a small seating area for those times that you want to dive deeper into conversation with somebody around a good cup of coffee. So here's one more look at what the information or hospitality desk would look like. That'll be a center of connection, getting people into ministries, signups, different things like that. And then down the hallway a little bit further, we have this coffee reception area. A great place for us to connect with one another, but I think as a great added benefit is a place of welcoming guests who come to our church gatherings for the first time. So we're excited about those proposed solutions. And now let's move on to the children's wing. The children's wing, you could say, is the primary driving factor for our church renovation. And the children's wing is just down this hallway to your left. And it was there in a temporary space because the original plan was to build a state-of-the-art children's ministry right out front on the slab. Unfortunately, that plan never came to fruition, and our temporary space became the permanent space of children's ministry. But the problem is that it was not designed for children. And so over the years, we've had a couple of challenges of doing ministry in that space. A couple of those have been, we don't have sinks in our nurseries, so people can wash their hands after changing a dirty diaper. We don't have bathrooms attached to all of the toddler nurseries for those kids who are learning to potty train. We don't have soft surfaces to protect from bumps and bruises if a kid might fall. And not only that, we also don't have just general bathrooms down there, boys and girls bathrooms for the older kids that are in a secure location and just for our children. And then finally, we didn't have a secure check-in area. Right now on Wednesday nights, some of our classes are kind of spread throughout the church, but we felt in this day and age the importance of taking all of our children's classes and putting them behind secure doors. So let me show you some of those pictures. This is in this hallway looking towards the entrance to our current children's wing. This is what it is, and here's what we imagine check-in to be. So you turn the corner there and you have a check-in station, some design on that wall, and then those security doors right there. Here's a still image of it. Now, I realize there's a column right there. That is a structural column. We can't get rid of it, but I think that this space is a great place for check-in. They'll have a lot of self-check-in stations, plus one that will be manned by one of our volunteers to kind of integrate new parents and children into our children's ministry. The most important thing are these doors right here that are our security doors that are going to be monitored by one of our security team. And these doors can be shut really quickly and locked in the case of a threat to our children's ministry. We felt like that was really, really important. Let me show you a nursery. This is the current infant nursery that we have right now. It's a great space, but it doesn't have a sink. It doesn't have soft flooring throughout. And so this is what it is right now. Here's what we imagine the infant nursery to be. So you come in, take a left. You see a sink and cabinetry there. A bonus is an infant nursing mother's room. They can watch TV, Joanna Gaines, or maybe Pastor Brian if he's doing well that Sunday. Then you come out and you can kind of see what the rest of the nursery looks like. Now, just note about this image, you see the flooring, it looks like it's hard surface. We are not going to do that in there. That is going to be a soft surface floor, especially in our infant nursery as kids are going from crawling to toddling. So that's our one of our nurseries, and we think that that's a great solution for what we have, the challenges we're facing now. There are two other areas that we don't have visuals for, but I think they're very important, okay? The first one area is this boys and girls bathroom right here. I know you probably can't read that, but you can see the highlighted area. These are large bathrooms just for our boys and girls use only. The next area is this large room right here that kind of looks like the state of Utah, and that is a large assembly room for those times when we want to gather larger number of kids into a room to teach and disciple them. Those would be times of children's church, maybe VBS things would be held in some of these larger rooms, and then even during missions emphasis conferences doing a children's program in there. It's a large room, and it can handle what we need, but it's also a versatile room. It can be split into two because there's this retractable wall that will have a door in the wall. So all we have to do is slide it over to the edge, and then we have actually two large classrooms for those times when we want to split into smaller groups, like on a Wednesday night for Awana when we use a lot more classrooms. So that's our children's ministry solutions for the challenges that we're facing, and as a building committee, we're really excited about that. The final area is our church offices. And our church offices, the moving of our church offices and remodeling began as simply a necessity because we wanted to take more space for the children's wing. We had to move the pastoral team out. But as time has gone on, we have begun to notice that these offices are going to be a lot more critical than we think because our leadership development strategies that we've been working on for the past 2 years are taking root and actually bearing fruit. We have 3 ways of raising up leaders in our church. One of them is the pastoral residency program. Caleb Sturgis kind of is finishing that and on his way out, and we have another gentleman who's coming into that. That's for vocational ministry, people who want to be trained by our church, ordained, potentially sent out from us, or integrated into our ministry. That's the pastoral residency. But there's also a second strategy of lay pastor training. And church, we already have 5 men who are interested and willing to go into the lay pastorate training. This is for people who have a vocation that supports them financially already, but these guys are interested in pastoral ministry. That doesn't mean all of them will become pastors, but I think it's incredibly encouraging to see already 5 men wanting to go through that process. And the third strategy is our internship strategy, where we bring in interns for like the summer to help us with important things like Impact Atlanta and Plant Camp Atlanta. So those are our church offices, and it's important to get these offices right to facilitate collaboration and discipleship amongst the staff. So we're going to enter the church offices. We're going to start walking down the gym hallway. We'll take a right into the brand new church offices. That's the gym in front of us. taking a right into the church office. This will be a landing area and workspace. The first room we're going into is the conference room. Plenty of space around that table to have some great meetings together. We'll head now to Pastor Brian's office and see what that might look like. All right, so there you have Brian's office, and here's a still shot of it. Now, recite with me, PPO, for presentation purposes only, right? But you can see in this room, Brian has enough space to have a desk and a counseling area. Behind his desk is his prayer closet, his inner sanctum, as I like to refer to it, where Brian secludes himself from the rest of the world, from me banging on his door, and he gets in his office and he gives himself to the study and preparation of the Word. That is larger than he has right now, and it will be lined with his bookshelves and a desk in there for him to work. So that's Brian's office. Let's leave his office now. Let's head down to the internship space. Taking a left down the hallway, here's the internship space that can support 3, maybe 4 interns during a summer. How about we go see my office? Okay, I'll show you my office. Going down the hallway, take a right. This is a pastoral associate pastor's office. It has shelving and storage, a desk, and plenty of room to do counseling in there. Going down, let's go visit Rhonda at reception. These are the main doors to the office area from outside, and that's what reception will look like. Here's a couple still shots of that. We feel like that's a very inviting place to have people come in as they're waiting to see our pastoral team. So that's reception right there. Here's a still shot of one of the pastoral offices or lay pastors' offices. And then finally, we have just one more look at the internship space. So that's all that I have to show and tell today. But I hope, as I said in the beginning, that seeing these visuals will spark your imagination for what could be, and then also whet your appetite to get this job done. You know, we view this building as simply a tool that we wield for the gospel's sake. And we don't want to do this renovation program just for us so that we have an easier space to work in or a nicer space to work in. We're looking towards the next 25 years of ministry when other people will come in after us and giving them a place that will optimize their ministry for the gospel's sake. So that's all I have to say. I'm going to turn it over to Pastor Brian.